By now, you might be sick of all the campaign ads that you're seeing. But as Natalie Brand reports, it's all part of record spending on the 2022 midterm elections.
Under Democrat control, massive inflation, crime-ridden neighborhoods.
Airwaves overloaded with campaign ads, a sign of a fierce election season and an expensive one.
It's like, really? Another ad for another legislative person? Really?
How informative can that possibly be?
Spending on this election is projected to top $16.7 billion across federal and state races, including ballot measures, setting a new record for a midterm cycle, according to Open Secrets, a nonpartisan group that tracks the money.
It's campaign inflation.
Executive Director Sheila Krumholtz says one factor, the number of key open congressional seats up for grabs.
This cycle, we saw a huge leap in spending during the primaries.
The most expensive Senate races all top $100 million, including Georgia, Pennsylvania, Florida, Arizona, and Ohio. And that's just what the candidates spent.
We anticipate that we will trip the $2 billion mark for outside spending. That is money coming through super PACs and dark money organizations spending independently.
Issues have also attracted big dollars this midterm season, especially after the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Planned Parenthood Votes says it's making a record investment of $50 million. On the other side, the Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America PAC says its budget is $78 million. And after a series of mass shootings, the Everytown for Gun Safety Political Action Committee has raised more than $18 million, while the NRA's Victory Fund has raised around $17.7 million. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Now, officials say that the good news is that the election is almost over, but the bad news is the next election cycle is a presidential election, which usually sees even more spending and more campaign ads on your screens. Well, a new type of antibiotic to treat urinary tract infections will soon be submitted for FDA approval ahead of schedule. Health officials say it's a big deal because it's the first antibiotic developed for UTIs in more than 20 years. UTIs are one of the most common infections, especially in women and young girls. The new antibiotic is a pill called gepotidacin, and new antibiotics are desperately needed because over time, many kinds of bacteria have become resistant to the agents used to treat them.